the future of growth.
Hello everyone, welcome to our next episode of Future of Growth. Today, we dive into the world of sustainability in advanced manufacturing with our distinguished guest, Mr. Santhanam, CEO at Saint-Gobain Asia Pacific and India. With a rich background in greenfield startups and a keen focus on macroeconomic policies, Mr. Santhanam brings valuable insights into sustainable practices, particularly in glass manufacturing. Join us as we explore the intersection of business strategy, competitive analysis, and environmental responsibility. Stay tuned for a thought provoking conversation on how companies can embrace sustainability for a greener, more resilient future. Hello, sir. Saint-Gobain is known for its commitment to sustainable practices. Can you share with us some specific initiatives or strategies the company employs to minimize the environmental impact of glass manufacturing processes?
In some sense, we carry sustainability in our genes. Our purpose is making the world a better home. You can't make the world a better home without bringing sustainability. So, sustainability at the core of what we do. Glass manufacturing is energy intensive. At the end of it, you actually make an infinitely recyclable product which deals with sustainability, which gives you light, comfort. But to make glass, it's energy intensive. What we have done is several measures we have done. The first thing that we did is, can we get all the electrical energy that we get predominantly from renewable energy sources? By 2025, 3 out of 4 electrical energy that we consume will come from renewable sources. In this, I'm quite happy that we are in Tamil Nadu, because Tamil Nadu, electrical energy in Tamil Nadu is nearly half of it comes from renewable sources. So therefore, it's a kind of a symbiotic relationship between what we have done. The second one is circularity. We recycle raw materials significantly. More than 20% of the raw materials that we use comes from the recycled glass that we come. We do our own recycling. We have a network of NGOs and others who provide us recycled glass coming from, and we do that. And the third, which is very unique, is there's a huge amount of sand that is wasted when mining is done at Neyveli Lignite Corporation, another Tamil Nadu company. And what we do is that we take that sand, beneficiate it, and make it usable for glass. So essentially, we are walking the talk. So this is the part on circularity and energy. The other one that we are now increasingly looking at is, we have switched from furnace oil to natural gas, so we reduce the carbon content. Increasingly, we are electrifying the process. What that does is, when we electrify the process, we are able to support the electricity that we need from renewable energy. So in many ways, we are really doing a lot. I don't think there is another company which does so much on sustainable manufacturing as we are doing today.
So you did mention that the best place to be doing business today is in Tamil Nadu. Can you also throw some light on what kind of support Tamil Nadu government provides to encourage businesses, specifically in manufacturing sector or others, and also to adopt and invest in sustainable practices?
25 years ago, we came to Tamil Nadu. In retrospect, as well as for the future, we could not have chosen a better state to start our greenfield investment. Incredible amount of support from the state administration and the bureaucrats and Tamil Nadu Industrial Guidance, SIPCOT. In the last 25 years, we haven't had a single promise made in our MOU, whether it's providing uninterrupted power, it's providing treated water from sewerage, whether it's making sure that we have the right land parcel. The Tamil Nadu government, administration, SIPCOT have done all of that. So, and many of the promises that the Tamil Nadu government made on the MOU, they have fulfilled it. So for me, it's really a mutually beneficial relationship, a win-win partnership that we have fostered over the last 25 years.
So I really wish that this wonderful relationship continues forever. Sir, it is easier for larger organization with greater capital in adopting sustainable practices. So, in your experience, what would you recommend for smaller companies, especially in a state like Tamil Nadu, where startup companies are emerging every single day?
In fact, when you look at any of the large number of small and medium enterprises in Tamil Nadu, they're actually quite lucky to be in a state where the electricity is already 50% renewable. Tamil Nadu has solar, wind, hydel, and nuclear. Nearly half of our electricity that we consume in Tamil Nadu is already renewable, better than many countries in the world, many states in India. So the first thing that I'll ask people is look at electrifying your process. In the past, electrical energy used to be expensive. Today, when you combine that with the renewable energy that is available, it's possible for you to have a reasonably leveled electricity. So, therefore, I would say electrify your process and leverage solar. And we are lucky that we are blessed with a lot of sun here, leverage the solar. The second one, which I think is going to make a level playing field for small and medium industries, is that we have a tremendous amount of talent in Industry 4.0 in Tamil Nadu. Industry 4.0 is scale agnostic. What does that mean? Whether it's a large company or a small company, Industry 4.0 doesn't distinguish. If you're a small company, adopting Industry 4.0 can make a huge difference for you in terms of energy reduction. In our company, we reduce our energy by a factor of 10 or 15% by just putting smart meter, knowing where you're consuming and understanding it and reducing it. So first, you have renewable energy sources at reasonable prices. Second, Industry 4.0. The third one, we are in a state where we have reasonable rains, but we have a challenge because we don't store. I would say just adopt rainwater harvesting practices. Our own rainwater harvesting takes care of 75% of our water needs for a large company like us. So therefore, use the rainwater that you have. Tamil Nadu has very good understanding of how to conserve water. So therefore, I would say three things: electrify your processes, leverage solar, use Industry 4.0, recycle and reduce, and use the rainwater harvesting. These are practices which are scale agnostic. Small, medium, large. The sun is the same. Okay, the electricity that you get from Nadu is the same. I would say this is the revolution that we can do. What this does today in this world is the Western world today wants to buy from companies which have sustainable manufacturing practices. So your marketing coefficient becomes much better when you do this.
So, once again, it was a very, very interesting point about how sustainability practices is size agnostic. So, there is a general misnomer around sustainability practices and the cost involved. So, in your experience, can you throw light on how manufacturing industries, especially small players, can balance their economic growth with environmental responsibility, fostering a sustainable and resilient business model?
Okay, I think this is a very common misconception. In India, sustainability saves and sustainability sells. And I'll tell you why sustainability saves. We're talking about sustainability for ours. We have huge electrical energy requirements. We also huge fuel energy requirements. In Chennai, we have today a factory which has 75% of its electricity needs will come from renewable energy sources. And today, renewable energy sources are significantly cheaper than the electricity grid. So when you combine that, you actually have a situation where by becoming sustainable, by using renewable energy sources, you're able to save. So, sustainability saves. I think the misnomer that the sustainability costs a lot, I think has to be removed. We have seen, for instance, in 2025, the electrical energy that we consume, I said close to 75% of that will come from renewable energy sources across India, not just in Tamil Nadu. Do you know how much we save? Just take a guess. We will be saving 80 crores. And whoever said sustainability is expensive? It is expensive in thinking. But you execute it well, sustainability saves for you. The second thing which I talked about, sustainability sells. Today, we produced a low carbon glass, 43% less. There are large companies which want sustainable buildings and they want glass that is made sustainably. And they're willing to pay a premium because that premium gives them better rentals because they're using sustainable raw materials, sustainable products in their buildings. So essentially, for us, these two premises we have to sell to small, medium, and large enterprises. Sustainability saves for you in India, sustainability sells. There are many examples that I have. For instance, another example in Tamil Nadu, which is surprising, is the availability of biomass and biofuel. Tamil Nadu produces a lot of biomass, and increasingly, this biomass is converted into either in the form of gas, or in the form of fuel, or in the form of some briquettes. And energy is measured always calorie wise. Calorie to calorie, the biomass energy is 100% sustainable, of course. It's also slightly cheaper. And then when you make your products in this fashion, there are people who are willing to pay you a premium. But we have to make that known to people. And small and medium enterprises can really market themselves to the export market, especially if you're in Europe. I think you say that you're making it in a sustainable way and that is certified. There's a premium for you.
So, given the emphasis on water conservation, especially water intensive manufacturing processes, how is Saint-Gobain incorporating sustainable water management practices in its glass manufacturing units?
Yeah. So, glass manufacturing is reasonably intensive in terms of water. We don't consume water for in the manufacturing except for cooling our equipments. So, while cooling the equipment, obviously there's a lot of evaporation loss. The first thing that we have done is how do we reduce the water consumption? That was the most important thing. So, we employed closed circuit and special evaporation, which minimizes the water losses in the water that is being circulated. 20 years ago, when we started our first float line, we were consuming something like 1,000 kiloliters a day for one float line. Today, in this complex, we have the equivalent of 3 float lines plus many other facilities which consume water, and our total water consumption is half of what it was before. Because first we said we attacked how do we reduce the water consumption at every stage, whether it's in generation, electrical generation, whether it's in cooling, whether it's in leakages, whether it's in corrosion, we reduce that. The second part of it is we recycle almost 100% of the water. They go through whether it's the domestic sewerage that we generate because we have a lot of people employed in the company, or the industrial water. Every one of that is recycled through an advanced process and they come back into the process. And the most important and laughably simple thing is we have a large roof and we collect every drop of water that Chennai gets in the roof in the form of a rainwater harvesting reservoir. We have 2 reservoirs which together have a capacity for 15 crore liters. 15 crore liters. It's not. So essentially 15 crore liters. People complain about Chennai. Chennai gets rainfall between July and December for most of the months. So essentially, we collect every drop of water that falls on our roof into these reservoirs, and together, in a reasonably good monsoon period, we will have 80% of our needs of that entire complex of 3,000 people, 5,000 crore investments is met by water that is coming from rain. So I'll just switch to Tamil. வானம் பொழிகிறது, கூரை இருக்கிறது, உனக்கு எதுக்கு தண்ணீர் பஞ்சம்? That's what I want people to understand. You collect the water that is falling on the roof, and you have an excellent source. And this is really what I want us to understand.
Sir, in all the discussion about sustainability, there is a misnomer that safety is often overlooked. Can you tell us what kind of measures are taken in your organization to ensure key factor like safety?
No, I think there are two different axes. I think a company that is sustainable, we talk about sustainability in inanimate terms, right? What do we talk about sustainability? Save energy, save water. But the most important sustainability is saving your people from injuries. So for me, I think a company cannot be sustainable if it has unsafe practices in its factory. Just to give you a sense of what we do on safety, one is every single person who comes into the factory, let us say that we have some helper who's coming into the factory and is working in a contractual nature. That person is not allowed to start the work unless he or she goes through a 14-day orientation on safety. So we have today AR, VR tools which tells them how to drive a forklift, how to use a crane, how to load a truck, how to pick place. This is number one. Second, every one of our factories, we try to avoid occupational injuries. So they are ergonomically designed so that you don't have to unnecessarily bend, you don't carry load more than 10 or 15 kg. So essentially, we've done at a granular level the workplace which is designed in such a way it's ergonomic and safe. And the third, anywhere in the world, there is what is called a safety incident that gets discussed. And what we do is very simple. We say this is the safety incident that happened in Japan. We had recently a safety incident in Japan. And then our teams in all our factories sit together, brainstorm and say, do we have a similar situation? Where are all the places where we have similar situation? How do we learn from that incident and improve our safety practices? And the fourth, which is very important, is 10% of the incentives that we pay to our employees is determined by safety. So essentially, they have to become safe. And you would be very happy to know that the factories that we have in Tamil Nadu are amongst the safest in the Sangomam world in terms of the number of incidents plus per million man hours. Then we have also done a lot of interesting work on digitalizing safety. I talked about AR, VR platforms for training people. That's one thing that is helping because they get a sense of what are the issues. They're able to understand, learn how to do it by the virtual reality platforms that we have. But today, we have a lot of forklifts. And one of the most common accidents in a factory is the pedestrian and the machine, and there is a lot of collision. So we have a very interesting development. We have AI-based cameras which will distinguish between a human being and an inanimate object, because we don't want it to stop when it sees an inanimate object. So it senses that there is a human being, and then it stops 2 meters from now. So we've implemented it across the board. The second thing, which is, so this has reduced the number of potential collisions between the human beings and the machines. The second one is, what we have done is a very, very simple thing. Everyone who's driving an equipment within the factory premises, their driving behavior is analyzed and it's fed back to them. Initially, they start with a score of 50. That means 50% of the time they're following the safety practices, other 50%. You will not believe, within 1 month, 100% of the people reach 98 because they're getting feedback. And what is giving this feedback? Industry 4.2. So you can marry advanced technologies like Industry 4.0, sensorization, AI-based cameras to make sure your employees are safe, your factory situation is safe. The number of ideas that we get is enormous. So for me, and every person that you save from an injury, you're actually becoming more sustainable company. So sustainability and safety actually go hand in hand. If you're very safe, you're likely to have a sustainable factory. And if you want to have a sustainable workplace, there is no way you can ignore human safety.
So now that you have mentioned the most trending word, Industry 4.0, how prepared is Tamil Nadu to take this hands-on?
Okay, I'll answer it in 2 questions. Tamil Nadu has potentially the best capacity for leveraging Industry 4.0. But having said that, are we using it to that extent? No, we are still in the early stages because we have a large talent pool of people across. So we have the number 1 engineers coming out. Third of those engineers are from computer science and instrumentation background. We have a large number of diploma holders. So for me, I think Tamil Nadu is the best place to advance Industry 4.0. So I think what I'm happy is in the last 3 years, the government has made some determined positive steps on that. Today, if I'm not mistaken, we have, I think, 2 very large robotics, automation, and Industry 4.0 centers in Tamil Nadu. I think one is supported by Siemens, if I'm not mistaken. The other one is Rockwell. I don't remember right. And we are supporting one of the initiatives where we can train people on Industry 4.0, the small and medium enterprises. So Tamil Nadu has got everything. It's 33% manufacturing. It has a fantastic base of engineers who understand computing, machine vision, AI, and instrumentation. You just have to marry that too. But this is a journey. Okay? Are we at a good level? I would say early stages. But if there is one state which can do this very well, it will be Tamil Nadu. Because of this large advanced manufacturing base that we have, talented pool, and a network of people who can implement Industry 4.0. So for me, I would say that one of the things that Sangama is planning to do is invest heavily in educating small and medium enterprises how Industry 4.0 is scale agnostic. You can benefit whether you are a 10 crore company or a 10,000 crore company. Industry 4.0 can help you save, improve quality, reach to your customers in a better way.
So now talking about your role as the chairman of CII Southern Region, you've been actively involved in environmental initiatives. So how do you think industries, particularly those in manufacturing, can collaborate to collectively enhance sustainability efforts?
Yeah, I think one is really communicating the messages that I talked about. From the point of view of energy efficiency, if you put sensors, you put an electrical management system, overnight, any company will save between 5 and 10%. That contributes directly to sustainability. Secondly, propagate the idea that solar, wind, electricity And electrifying your process, moving away from fossil fuel, can make a very big difference on sustainability. These are two very important things that any industry, whatever be its size, can do. And today, luckily, we are in a state which is abundant in sun, abundant in wind, reasonably abundant in non fossil electrical energy. Take advantage of it. If we don't take advantage of this in the southern state, and particularly Tamil Nadu, I think we have to blame ourselves, not the environment.
So, on a macroeconomic perspective, what role do you see sustainable manufacturing playing in shaping the future of India's economic growth?
I think sustainable manufacturing is the way to go. It's very simple. I'll already talked about sustainability saves. I've given you a concrete example. In 2025, a company like Sangoma will save 80 crores by using sustainable electricity. We are switching to biomass, biogas, biofuel, and all of them are not only helping us to be sustainable in reducing the CO2 footprint, but also saves us money. So it's very simple. If what is true for us should be true for a large number of industries. So I really hope that many companies can follow. The second one is, we always complain about India's geographical location. True, geographically India is a bit isolated, but I think what was seen as a disadvantage is now a huge advantage. We are a tropical country, abundant sunlight, arable land. So we have this incredible opportunity to use solar like no one can do, wind like no one can do. So we can become the world's capital for sustainable manufacturing. And it's not a pipe dream, because in the Sangomam world, Sangomam India is seen as a sustainability champion. In fact, we won the award in 2022 for the most sustainable country within the Sangomam 66 country network. It's not rocket science, because you're in an environment in a country which is tailor-made for sustainable manufacturing. We have to leverage that. And luckily, the world is moving towards saying, I'm not just happy by buying the cheapest product. I want to buy from sources that are sustainable, and they're moving towards that. When they're moving towards all of this, that means they're willing to pay a premium for products which are made from sustainability. So essentially, we are lucky to be in a country at a stage where sustainability matters to the world. Be it for consumers or be it for reducing the global warming, sustainability matters. I don't think that time can be anything better for us.
So, on a lighter note, I just want our listeners to know that, we are doing this podcast in your house, and I happen to notice that along with the aesthetics, you're literally walking the talk on sustainability in the construction of your house also. So, can you tell us a little bit more about the thought process, especially keeping sustainability in mind when you constructed this house?
We are lucky that, I'm lucky that I work for a company which makes sustainable products. So we make products like glass, gypsum ceiling, acoustic ceilings, and every one of the waterproofing, and construction chemicals that reduce the consumption of cement, sand, and others. So this house is a very good example where we've allowed natural lighting to come in. Natural lighting. We allowed the wind to go through with cross ventilation everywhere. We have over 20 kilowatts of solar power, taking care of probably 60% of our electricity needs. We have a well, and we use well water here. We use minimal treatment. So when I look at all of this, I think it's very important for us that we walk the talk on sustainability. And this house is a small example of us walking the talk.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for joining us on Future of Growth, the special podcast series for the Global Investors Meet.
Thank you. I really hope that you will take this message that sustainable manufacturing, the capital is India, and it's up to us to leverage that.
Thank you very much, sir. I hope this message is taken by our listeners also to make Tamil Nadu and India the capital of sustainability. Thank you, listeners, for joining us on this enlightening exploration of sustainability in advanced manufacturing with Mr. Santhanam.
The future of growth.